Okay, in this video we're going to continue our work with mixed and improper fractions, and we're going to look specifically at converting improper to mixed numbers. So make sure you put today's date in the upper corner of your notes. So remember, improper fractions look like the following. It's when your denominator is either bigger than your numerator or the same as the numerator. So any numbers that have the numerator is larger than the denominator or equal to the denominator are considered improper. So there are times when you want to convert from improper to mixed. So remember, a mixed number is when you just have the whole number with the fraction. So for example, like 3.5 or 2 1/4 or 1 1/10. So as a way that we can convert between the two methods, we looked at going from mixed to improper in the previous video. So in this video, we're going to go from improper to mixed. And again, there's going to be two methods that you can use to do these problems. So method one is going to be using just breaking down the improper fraction. So let's say I gave you this improper fraction, 9/4, and I want to turn it into a mixed number. Let's break this fraction into pieces, and we're going to try to convert it into numbers that I can use to simplify the fraction a little bit easier. So the best way to look at it is I'm going to reduce or look at my 9 and try to break it down into pieces that'll make it easier to work with. And I notice that my fraction is a fourth. So I'm wondering if I can break this 9/4 into smaller fourths that make it easier to work with. So 9, I can keep taking away 4. So 9 minus 4 is 5. So I have 4/4, another 4/4, and 1/4. So I'm just breaking up the 9 into the pieces that make it smaller, because then now 4/4 and 4/4 I can turn into 1, and then 1 plus 1 is 2. So 9/4 is the same thing as 2 1/4. So I really just tried using the denominator and creating whole fractions that give me the number 1 to make this easier. Let's look at another example. Let's say I take 10/3. So again, I'm going to break this up into thirds, and I want to split up 10 where I can get some whole fractions that have the same number on the top and bottom. So 10, I'm going to do 3, 3, 3, because that gives me 9, 3, 6, 9, and then one more. And then 3/3 is 1, plus another 3/3 is 1, plus another 3/3 is 1. So 10/3 can also be written as 3 1/3. One more example, 11/5. So again, we're going to break it up into fifths. And I want to see, can I make my numerators add up to equal 11? And I want to try to use 5s initially so I can get that fraction of 1. So 5/5 plus 5/5, that's 10/5, and then plus one more fifth is 11/5. So then now I can break this up into 1 plus 1 is 2, and 1/5. So that's one method. One method is you just break the improper fraction into separate fractions. Try to get fractions that will simplify to give you 1, and then whatever's remaining is the fraction that remains. Method 2 involves some dividing. So either method works. You do whatever makes sense for you. So method 2, here are the steps. You want to divide the numerator by the denominator. Write down the whole number from the division problem. The answer that you get. And then write the remainder over the denominator. So let's look at our examples that we did above. We had 9/4 before. So following this method, you take the numerator divided by the denominator. So I'm going to rewrite it in division form. So 4, how many times does 4 go into 9? So 4 goes into 9 2 times. So that's my whole number answer. 4 times 2 is 8, with a remainder of 1. So I can rewrite this as 2 and 1/4. The whole number becomes the number in front, the answer, and then 1/4 is your denominator. Let's do the same thing for 10/3. You divide, so how many times does 3 go into 10? Well, that's 3 times, because 3 times 3 is 9. And there's 1 remaining. So that's 3 and 1/3. And the last fraction we did, 11/5. How many times is we're dividing here? So we're going to do 5 with 11. So how many times does 5 go into 11? Let me lower that so we have space. 5 into 11, so it's going to be 2 times. 5 times 2 is 10, with a remainder of 1. So my whole number answer is 2 and 1/5. So that's converting from improper to mixed.